Okay. Actually, good evening, and this is January 15 and 2026. I probably shouldn't say what day it is because you might be listening to this in like 3 weeks from now, 3 months from now, next month, who knows. My name is Misoon Donahue, and this is a meditation class that we hold every Thursday night at my studio. The subject that I've been talking about is really getting to the awareness of are we living conscious life? And that encompasses so many different ways because it depends on where we are. Depends. End of the day, the conscious life, I don't think it means anything else. Are you living conscious life? But our definition and interpretation might be a little bit different. But tonight I thought I'd do just a little vary from what we do. I'm going to show you the cover of a book. And because the time that we are living, since I said it's today's January 15, 2026, we are fully aware in the entire world that it seems to be there's lots of chaos. And people are going through a great deal of confusion, silently and some openly exhibiting in different way. And people are feeling really helpless, and I certainly do, and I know Catherine does, and different people. I was teaching yoga this morning, and we were talking about I'm not bringing in the politics of it, even though that is a big thing, but people are scared, a sense of where we belong, what's happening, or there's somebody who asked, well, you do realize that's right, and I said, no, I did not, and then if you start talking about all the facets that can come, unfurl as that, how you could get to, or because of what has been initiated. That could just consume everything and just bring us into the fear. So I've tried to recognize things for what it is and ask myself, what can I do to bring coherence? And that's why I do sound healing, particularly on Sunday. And as I said to my yoga student this morning, if we feel helpless, we're not here to solve the whole world. We don't have wherewith to saving somebody else. We can enhance, we can lend a hand, but what can I do instead of going into this I can't do anything else, what am I going to do? I'm just going to ignore it. I'm not suggesting ignoring it. I don't think ignoring exactly works, sticking your head in the sand and say, Jesus, the bomb's not going up over my head. That to me is silly. But we can do what we need to do to make ourselves safe. We can do what we can do to help each other. So I said, if you can bring a cup of coffee to your neighbor, you can give ride to somebody who needs it. You can bring a meal, or you can listen to somebody. So you are not participating in this chaos. Keep talking about from point of fear, saying all the things can go wrong. So more that we do the kind things, right things, meaning immediately everybody needs some just to survive. What can I do to help you? I think that could make it go a long way, and when people are kind to us, it touches our heart, and that resonates a vibration of love. And I think that is an absolutely way of participating, making the change, not surrendering, not just sticking your head. Just because you know something, that doesn't mean you have to take it apart in 1,000 ways of what could go wrong. You can accept them and say, okay, I know this is going on. How can I make the change? So having said all that, and it's just I read a book recently, and the title is called The Midnight Library. And I was telling a friend a while ago about, I was doing quantum jumping, and I was really studying that people living a multiple life. So the world we are living in, we all want to escape and be somewhere else simultaneously, or put this in the neutral. So maybe in that vein, so I've been practicing. So I was telling this to a friend of mine, and it's a young friend who said to me, oh, Misoon, you got to read the book called The Midnight Library. You would absolutely love it. And I knew nothing about it. I have no idea. It's I think it's a pretty old book. So, and she said this was a book on this young woman who lives multiple different lives. She goes to the library in her, I guess, dream world, and she get to live that life that she did not live, that she wished she could. But so I said, oh, okay, that sounds like what I'm into. So I asked my husband to get the book out of the library, which I buy all the books. But this one, because I wasn't sure I would be into it as much, and I wasn't sure that I wanted it in my library, so I had him take it out of the library. I'm going to show you the book. Who knows, maybe all of you will go, look. So this is what it looks like. So I start reading it, and I have a tendency to read from the left to right, and I don't skip any of them, even though it's redundant and I don't like it. I feel like once I engage, I'm obligated. But basically this book is about, I think it opens, it's a young woman who decided to kill herself. So but she's not dead yet, so whether she's in a hospital, I'm not sure. So in that limbo state, that she would end up in her favorite library that she used to go to. Except in midnight, she's in the library, and she see her favorite librarian. And so the book goes, is in the library shelf, like she's not sure, like where the heck am I? The library looks familiar, the Mrs. Elm looks familiar with the librarian. And the librarian plays a very significant role in her life, is because the librarian was there when her father passed away many years ago to deliver news to her, because she hung out at the library a lot. So from there, I'm not going to give you the whole book, you're going to have to go read it, that this is where she get to contemplate all the regrets that she have in life. Oh, what if I lived that life? What if I made that choice? So, and having read all that, you know how sometimes when we hear a music, you don't like the whole thing, but there might be one or two lines that resonate, and that makes the whole thing worthwhile, whether it's play that we go see or the book you read. So from this book, toward the very, very end, when I got to 277, there's 3 different places and 3 chapters. I said, oh my God, just for that book was worth reading. So I'm going to spare you other 2. That's on you. You can go read about it. But I thought this kind of place, because we are all living, what if we made a different choices? What if somebody else do something else, and so on? So indulge me if you will listen. So the title of this particular chapter is A Thing I Have Learned, written by nobody who has been everybody. Nobody who has been everybody. And you stop. It is easy to moan the lives we aren't living, easy to wish we developed other talents, said yes to different offers, each to wish we work harder, love better, handle our finance more austerely, been more popular, stay in the band, because she was a musician band, gone to Australia, said yes to the coffee, or done more bloody yoga. It takes no effort to miss the friends we didn't make, and the work we didn't do, and the people we didn't marry, and the children we didn't have. It is not difficult to see yourself through the lens of other people and to wish you were all the different kaleidoscope version of you they wanted you to be. It is easy to regret and keep regretting an infinitesimal until our time runs out. But it is not the lives we regret not living that are the real. The problem it is a real problem. It is the regret itself. It is the regret that makes us shrivel and wither and feel like our own and other people's worst enemy. We can't tell if any of these other versions would have been better or worse, those lives are happening. It is true, but you are happening as well. And that is the happening we have to focus on. Of course, we can't visit every place or meet every person or do every job. Yet, most of what we feel in any life is still available. We don't have to play every game to know what winning feels like. We don't have to hear every piece of music in the world to understand music. We don't have to try every variety of a grape from every vineyard to know the pleasure of a wine. Love and laughter and fear and pain are universal currencies. We just have to close our eyes and savor the taste of a drink in front of us and listen to the song as it plays. We are as completely and utterly alive as we are in any other life and have access to the same emotional spectrum. We only need to be one person. We only need to feel one existence. We don't have to do everything in order to be everything, because we are already infinite. While we are alive, we always contain a future of multifarious possibility. I was trying to pronounce that and I still messed it up. So multifarious possibility. So let's be kind to the people in our own existence. Let's occasionally look up from the spot in which we are, because whatever we happen to be standing, sky above goes on forever. Yesterday, I knew I had no future and that it was impossible for me to accept my life as it is now. And yet today, the same messy life seems full of hope and potential. The impossible, I suppose, happens by living. Will my life be miraculously free from pain, despair, grief, heartbreak, hardship, loneliness, depression? No. But do I want to live? Yes, yes, 1,000 times yes. So this is supposed to be a fiction, but I have a feeling it might have more deeper understanding or the knowledge by author. But I think this is where we are. So they touch me deeply and I wanted to share with you. It is because our life as we perceive, or people say things like things are worse than it ever has been, or this or that. But this is life. This is when we are living, and this is where we are at. So it is miraculous. The sky above us, it is an infinite cloud that we look at, and all the possibilities. So this is about a young woman who thought yesterday that she could not possibly live her life. And the next day, as she tried to commit suicide, because she thought this is an impossible life, and she was full of regret. But the next day, she thought that she would say yes, and she saw nothing but possibility. So if you want to read more about it, but I thought it was a very apropos for all of us to really think about infinite possibility that we do have. Not that what we lost, or not that we didn't become a better people, or we're not living in a better world, or this or that. But it's what are we working with what we have, which is an extraordinary possibility. And that each one of us could make so much difference in our lives. As I'm going to just end this by just sharing, I serve food, I feed homeless people. Lately it's been shrinking. But I gave a young man 2 weeks ago a $100 bill at the food pantry. The reason I did, because relatively new and something inside of me. I don't know this young man at the time. I didn't even know his name. But the thing is, how do we make a difference? So I walked over to him because he showed up at food pantry and a skateboard. We give out a bag and a box of food. That's a lot to carry. I asked him, may I ask you the story of you, if you don't mind? So he told me the story, kind of hit the hard time. He wasn't homeless. It's not that he didn't have a job. He is, but he didn't have a vehicle. And what little he had, which is for the grace of God, all of us, some of us are lucky enough to have maybe 6 months to cover our back. But a lot of people live from paycheck to paycheck. So I happened to have a $100 bill in the box, and I handed it to him, and I said, maybe this could help you. And he looked at me and said, it would help me to pay for fix my flat tire for the bike, because that was his transportation right now. It would help me to pay my phone bill. So I said, I wish I could do more, and I exchanged the card, let go. That night, I got a text message from him. He said, he was blessing me and asking God to bless me 100 times over for the help I loaned him. I don't know what it is. But he said, because of you, he said, I fixed my bike. I paid my cell phone bill, and I had a $6 left to buy a water. And the following week, when I saw him at the pantry again, he came and gave me a big hug, and I was trying to find him some job. I asked the skill. The reason that I'm sharing with you, you never know in what way that we can touch the lives, and also for that matter, or sometimes all we need to do is look at another human being in the eye with the humanity, with compassion, that they'll go for grace of God, that could be me. That goes to grace of God. It could be me. And I have been that person. So it's easy. It doesn't take much of imagination for me to figure that one out. But again, that he feels seen, that I was able to help without a lecture, without a judgment. So if we can do that, can you imagine what the world would look like? Maybe all that we are going through right now would not exist if we start beginning to just one single person that you could make them feel important enough that they matter, that you care about their being. Because if you don't know them, you don't know the history, you have no axe to grind other than they show up and say, what can I do for you? Can I feed you? What can I do? And if you could show up in that way, we can honestly, all of us could change everything. The vibration of this whole world would change, I promise you. So show up. Be your best self, because we are our potential to make a difference in this life. I was going to save the world, because I'm not asking you to save the world. I can't save the world. But if we just exercise our best self, just in all the ways that we know how, we can literally change what's happening in this world, because it's not just happening in America. This is being recorded. This is happening in all over the world, that we feel unsafe and insecure. So meditate, go do something, feed somebody, listen to somebody, do something. So it's like a young woman in this character in this book. Perhaps we will get up tomorrow and all of us will say simultaneously, yes, we are going to live, we are going to make a difference, and we see an infinite possibility, nothing but possibility. So I wish you all well, love, happiness. Truly, truly, I say to you, I love you all, because you are me and I am you. Thank you and have a good night.